Welcome everybody to From the Depths once again. And ignore the black screen in the beginning. Apparently OBS just wanted to switch to World of Warships again. But no, we don't do that. Today we're playing From the Depths. And we're continuing on with the inspections. Where we stopped at the mini Gumo last time, I do believe. So now we're on to the Night of Selena. I do have some others in chat today again, but none of them talking, so yeah. Enjoy the silence. Let's see what we have here. Looks like an airship, although it's quite low flying. And it has drills. That is a chunky boy, yeah. Are these like the main uplift? We'll see in a moment, I guess. There's a big gun on top. Nice looking turret as well. Especially this bit, I like that. Okay, so we have here a 420mm shell. 6 meter long, apparently. Which is just solid. So this is just to punch through. That should even deals almost full damage to heavy armor. Okay. And is that what all intakes have? No, the others apparently some have this shell as well, which is some EMP in there. AP heat EMP. Oh, okay. That's a silly little shell. Very, very silly little shell. Since the other shell looked like some sort of Seawiz, is there another gun somewhere? Let's take a look. Or were those experimental shells, perhaps? Looks like the latter is the case. So here's the drills. We'll see. Melee tends to do quite well after all. The AI is sitting directly on heavy armor, so I'm not sure if this rubber is gonna help all that much. Oh, there's air here though, so... How's the insides looking? Ah, so the heavy armor is only touching rubber and nothing else, so that's probably pretty good. There's a lot of surge protectors in here as well. A lot of rubber as well. Huh. A lot of this ship seems to be empty from the insides as well, so is that reflected in the armor cost? It kind of is. 64k is not too high. But given that it's got drills on the front, it's got lamps. That's good. And yeah, there we go. Here's some armor. Is that clipping? Is that deco or is that clipping? Where do we find that out? Right, anybody see any sub-objects? Okay, so it is apparently deco. For the drill down here. I was thinking that was clipping for a moment. That wouldn't be good if it did. So we've got the engine here, which seems to be running quite well. We've got another engine back here as well, apparently. Decently sized lamps in the back. And yeah, just to look at the armor a bit more again. there's a lot of armor apparently. Like around the lamps, it's all heavy armor as well. Actually, I mean, it is still a lot of armor, yes, but it's not that bad compared to what some frontsiders in this have had before. It's also stabilized in the air now, so it's not tilting down anymore. Let's see what it does to a Marauder. Just for fun. I do also need to hurry up with the stream because, I mean, the football match this evening... Okay, it rolls. There's a football match this evening, which I really would like to watch. So... gotta hurry up with the stream. Gotta watch the finals. Watch football on the side. No, I'd rather watch with my family. That's generally more fun. Plus more drinking. And here comes the drill. Never mind. It's just... ah, there it goes. The drill kind of went down a bit late, I guess. But it did go for the Marauder eventually. How fast does it go? That's a good question, actually. Does it... what happens if I disable movement? I mean, it drops into the water. Who would have thought? It's just formation fleet mode.
Listening.
And give it the order to... I don't know, go here.
Moving out.
See how fast it goes. Since speed is, after all, something to take care of. But it looks like it's not going over 100, so that's all good. I would have just... I mean, it would have just DQ'd if it did, so... yeah. But seems fine to me. Can, in fact, be accepted into Newbee Rumble. On to the next one. We've got the Mask of Doom. Which... 3,000 blocks. Very high cost. 3,000 is... the lowest block count, so this thing is probably quite dense. Let's see what it is. It is a mask. It flies. Let's just stop it for a moment. It's got flamethrowers. How much flame power? Oh god. Armor cost is very low. It is a flying flamethrower with an open back. So if you get that, so then congratulations. The armor department is... I mean, you've got metal, alloy. There's this hole here, which I guess if you get a very lucky angle you could make use of, but otherwise not really. And all the important bits are just concealed. Very, very well. Okay, so how the fuck is... oh, this is just ducts. That's how. I was wondering what that beam was doing right up into the jet. This may be concerning for all those wood enjoyers, this craft. So wonder where the flamer's at. There they are. Hidden in probably more armor than anything else. Actually, not that bad. Like, there's heavy armor here. But the armor isn't that strong, so it's a glass cannon. So here we see it's apparently quite evasive. It's consistently going over 100 meters. Let's just quickly see. The limit was 100. Was it 100? Was it 150? Oh, 200. Yeah, no, it's fine. Don't know why I had 100 in mind, probably from the speed. So that's fine. Let's just see what the Marauder experiences for a moment, because I want to know if it's hittable or something. If it stays below speed limit as well, I guess. Which it seems to be doing. It's not gone over 100 yet. It's still within the altitude bracket as well. And there it comes. Cooking the Marauder. Poor thing. It is entirely on fire. It is moving fairly evasively, to be honest. So we'll have to try it around with it getting hit. For that purpose, actually, I have a cramp ship to test that. Honestly, let's just take the crossbones. I'm not gonna spawn in any, like, of my ships. Okay, crossbones sending cramps. It's not hitting. See if any damage is being dealt by any of the other weapon types. Which so far is not the case. You can't have anything too evasive in here after all, which this might fall into. Okay, it's taking some damage. It's taking cramps. Okay, never mind, it's fine. Crossbones is managing to cramps it. In fact, I think that killed 3 out of 4 flamers with those cramps, so yeah. Should be fine on the survivability department. Let's see if the crossbones lands more cramps. Yeah, it lands them. So despite the movement, it's so close that the cramps actually can still predict it. Which means I'm fine with it. Let's just watch it burn the crossbones a bit more before that last flamer inevitably explodes. Well, if it ever explodes. May not. Oh, it just drops into the water. Yeah. Still, test successful. It can be hit by cramps. So, actually, let's take another look real quick, because there was one thing I had with another submission of this person they sent in beforehand, where it had repair bots. So, let's just quickly test that. Oh, it dropped into the water. That's not nice. But it doesn't seem to be repairing, so that's good. That's a good sign, at least. And yeah, I don't see any repair bots anywhere. Unless I'm missing them, which is possible, but unlikely. So yeah, that's all good. My lack of trust has been without reason. So on to the Reluctance by SkovyMation. That's a lot. That's quite undercost. Okay. But I mean, if you want it to be undercost like that, it's quite a short ship, bit wider than what I do, and oh, it's an airship. Hello, you fly. Let's see what we have here. We have Sap HE. Quite a common shell here, I believe. Decent kinetic damage, low AP, which I guess there's not a lot of gunpowder, so makes sense. And pretty high HE damage. We've also apparently got some fancy looking missiles. Radar, explosive, some fins. Pretty standard missile. We've got nice looking wooden deck. The hull is really nice, yeah. I like this bow part. Also the white corners here. That's very nice. So yeah, Reluctance looking really fancy. This back as well. The fins. Got big jets in the back with not too much armor, to be honest. This is all metal. The upthrust is very protected with heavy armor ducts and shit. But from the side... could take some unlucky side shots here. Which is hard to avoid in that position, I guess. Got a rangefinder down here, which makes sense if you're flying above. Oh, ran out of room for armor. Yeah, that happens. The turrets too have metal, alloy, metal, metal, metal. No heavy armor. You would have the cost to just add heavy armor there, at least. If you wanted to, of course. But I guess maybe weight was kind of an issue with that then. Skovy is in chat, so I can directly ask them. So yeah, maybe weight. Armor cost is, yeah, very, very low. More missiles. We have here the same missiles, I think. Maybe with a pair of fins in the front. Added. Got some ailerons. Ailerons, I don't know. To help with roll, I assume. Even here it's mostly metal. Okay. But the AI, surely. Ah, free space EMP, that's a notable difference, yeah. Some EMP damage never hurts, after all. So yeah, this is actually not the AI, but processing cards. This back here is where the AI sits. Oh yeah, there's some heavy armor here. Okay, so there's only no heavy armor here in the very front. But there is here. Okay. Actually, let's just look at the armor this way. Oh. Hello, Panda. Yeah, the armor is... I mean, it's relatively thin, but it's okay. Still good enough for a 130k crosscraft. Around the guns is what would worry me though, especially with SAP HE. I mean, then again, you're running 0 clips, so you're not gonna explode as bad. Should be fine. Either way. That's the missile. Ah, okay. It was just the closest to completion. That's alright as well. Time is sometimes an issue after all. There we go. Nice superstructure as well, to be honest, for being fairly low on the deco side of things. This one's sitting on the piston, which makes sense. Can't get this thing shut off, I think. Wait, maybe you can actually. Since this is down here, there's a turret. It's not actually a piston, it's heavy armor poles. My bad. So what is sitting in here? This is just some detection, okay. So, yeah, looking pretty good. Let's just throw it into a Marauder. Sab HE should be pretty decent against the Marauder. Yeah, the Marauder is definitely not enjoying that. Some damage. Some EMP going. Oh yeah, those shells have timed fuses as well, huh? Similar to what the Volca had in Newbee Rumble 50. With its APHE with timed fuses. And that worked pretty well, so I guess there's nothing speaking against it. Oh, that was the ammo. A pretty nice vehicle. It's stable, it's within the speed and altitude limits. I like it. So, on to the next one. The Trimmer by Crazy Kid. Let's see what this is. It looks good for not being classes with decals. I mean, yeah. There are ships with decals that look worse. With more decals, I should say. This one is... I mean, there's no superstructure, is there? Oh, so this is a funnel. Huh. Some below water wood. Ezzy pots. Yeah, most of the below water section is wood, huh? Okay, what APS shells do we have? The main feature. This is AP, HE, defuse and base bleeder. Huh. Decent kinetic damage. Bit on the lower end for explosive, but still okay. And I mean, there's 4 guns, so they should punch some holes. I wonder, what about the armor? Turret cap's got some heavy armor around the firing pieces, which makes sense. You'd love to not have those destroyed after all. The turret seems to be relatively small, looking at it from this mode. There's some heavy armor on the front, which is on the turret. Metal, wood, and wood. Okay. So it's decent, but not insane armor. The guns themselves... looks like foreclip? Yeah, might be foreclip. It is, I think. Huh. And with the manual IPS shell controller. Or customizer. Not the built-in shells. Which each turret has as well. Does each turret have a different shell? No, it's AP head solid, double HE. So no, it's not different shells or anything. So, yeah. Not sure what that is, but either way. We've got some EMP protection with rubber here. Why is that? Okay, I don't know. There's the AI. which, yeah, close enough combat range. Should be good. Engines here and there, and everywhere. Some ammo. The ammo is very spread across the ship, which I like to do that as well. Saves me from having to armor it because you never really lose all of it. Some extra processing power back here, I guess. Okay, so... Oh, never mind. This is actually on the turret. So I was about to say it's touching metal like right below. So why have rubber all other places, but... Actually, EMV does jump onto turrets now, does it? So that could be an issue. In some situations. I'm not sure if an EMV does jump onto turrets from... or onto other blocks than the main turret block. I'm really not sure if it does that, or if I remember it wrong. Would have to test that. Actually, let's test that. Let's give it a charge of, I don't know, 5,000? Can't really edit it very accurately, so let's just go with this. I'm not sure if it is that way. This is why I was going to just test it. Let's see. Yeah, it definitely has to go through the main turret block because... yeah. So I just remembered that wrong or heard that wrong somewhere. I don't know. Just, yeah. Should be all good. Well, back to looking at the design after that little test. I don't know if there's much else to look at here. The bow is mainly empty space, which makes sense. It's that way on most ships after all. Stern too. We have heavy armor here. The armor is okay around the AI, I think. Oh, might have to go. Yeah, I mean, there's not too many vehicles left anymore, I think, so should be good. And I think this vehicle is good to go. We'll just throw a marauder at it, see what happens. There it goes. They're synced. Okay, so Kiwi had to leave, but told me what they changed on the Cerciada, which, as I said, I was going to inspect off camera, so good to know still though. Saves me somewhere, which is always nice. So yeah, this nice synchronized firing really. It's just a constant rain of shells or barrage with no like real end to it. And it's speeding up a Marauder pretty well. down here. I'm not sure how well it will do against some of the incendiary people, but that remains to be seen, I guess. If they do anything below water. So yeah, for now, accepted. For now, I say. What else? Now, I believe these are the same vehicle, so we'll take a look at this one because it has a higher version. I just forgot to add the name at the back. Until now. Another person using the APS customizers. Why? I mean, we have built-in shells nowadays. Oh well. You do you. Sure, there is benefits to it as well. We have a built-in shell as well, which is just heat. Got a frag head and an EMP head. Okay, so jumping through the intakes, they all seem to be having the same shell. There's some ERA protecting this here. There's only metal armor here. Okay. The entire turret is coolers, which is quite a lot of cooling. Are these belts fed? No, there's simple autoloaders with ammo intake. Huh. So the armor on this turret may be a bit of a risky thing, seeing as around the turret cap sides it's 1 meter. Like from the side here it's 3, if that. 2. No, that's unhealthy. That can be bad. Especially if you only have like 2 turrets. Or well, 1 main turret. There's also some cramps on the side though, which do add some firepower. And there's these missiles, which seem to all be explosive. Is the AI just... Okay, so this is just chilling. Cool. It feels like there would be something missing here, but I'm not sure if there's actually anything missing or if that's just intentional. EarthDuke would have to tell me that after watching. So EarthDuke, if you're watching this, please do tell. I am curious if there's anything missing in your superstructure. We seem to also have a little lamps going on here. Yeah, very little lamps. And what are you? Friendly, identify friend or foe add-on. Okay, cool. There's a second turret here, which is running the same frag shells apparently. And there's a turret up here. I almost missed this one because it's so little. Such a tiny little shell. There's heat. This is just sitting on top of the superstructure, okay. You have about the freeboard of a Russian cruiser. This is giving me Petropavlovsk vibes from World of Warships, not gonna lie. Like at the stern you just have negative freeboard, okay, cool. Except if this is the intended altitude then, or elevation then, that's fine. And freeboard isn't required anyways, as long as you're not sinking too low, because then you just DQ. It still looks kind of, I don't know, unfinished in some places, which I'm not sure about. It's automatic control, so yeah, cool. The steam jets on the side as well, huh? Neat. But yeah, apart from it looking kind of unfinished, I don't really have any complaints to be made here. And well, and the name, of course, which I'll have to change myself in a moment. But apart from that, yeah, no complaints. So, Marauder. It's... Oh, those are turrets. Neat. Why is the heat turret not firing? Lag AI. It does. So yeah, this is definitely unfinished. And if the turret up here isn't even AI controlled, not sure. Is the V20? Is it like a new start entirely? I'll have to check. No. He sent me one yesterday and I most certainly downloaded that without changing the name. So yeah, I guess it's intentionally this way. The frag seems quite wide angle as well. What also seems unfortunate is that it can't shoot forward directly. Kind of like, I mean there were ships that couldn't do that, to be honest. Oh. Marauder dealing damage, I see. It's taking quite a while to kill, and this turret apparently doesn't have any limitations set on how far it's allowed to rotate, so that could cause issues at some point. There we go, that cramped shell did it in. So, I mean, I'll accept it to Newbee Rumble, but what I am going to say is that it seems very, very, very unfinished, and you might want to take a look at that before it goes into any actual battles. You still have some cost to play around with, which for adding some armor in places should be good. But yeah, apart from that, it's fine. That is again the tonker, and then we only have left the Z5. I did change something over the last week, but we hadn't inspected it anyway, so it's now back to almost maximum cost. And yeah, visuals, I think we all know the Z5 by now, except for these longer gun barrels. Which, yeah, it now has a different shell. It's now running Sabo Finstab with Super Cav, because why the fuck not? So it's now running that shell and the barrels to accommodate for that. It still has the torpedoes, which are just as per usual, basically, I'd say. Don't think I've changed much about that. They're still running at low depths as well. Oh, I did change something. I took out the EMP from these torpedoes, I think. Yeah, I took out the EMP. That's something I did change. Honestly, quick decision here, but I'm giving it back some of the EMP because we don't want people to not have the low running EMP torpedoes after all. So there we go. Y'all saw this change though, so that should be fine. There's nothing else going on with it really. Missile firepower is barely below APS now that there's no chemical component to the shells anymore. I actually had to add a reinforced body to make sure it sits below the APS. Else it would have been too high. Ammo is spread all over the place. The AI is coated in heavy armor and rubber. It's quite a long noodle of an AI really. There's some ammo that is in the same place here actually. Which, I mean, I could have also spread it across the length of the ship, which still is a lot. But I didn't, I don't know why really. I'll have to change that at some point, I guess. There's no such thing as repair boards or anything else going on. I have these here to kind of help with roll control, which seemed to work pretty well on the Brockdorf, so I kind of took it over to some of my other ships at this point. The engine is still questionable, I guess. It moves though. Oh yeah, actually I took this from a different tournament, so there's gonna be some issues with the engine, with the propellers too, isn't there? Yeah, there is. That's not supposed to be a 1. We want to go fast. So yeah, I kind of had that oversight as well. Can the boiler handle it? The boiler can't handle it. I'll have to add another boiler. I know, doing changes live ain't the best, but didn't really get to doing it anyways before, so there we go. Z5 now goes back to its 40 knots, well, meters per second, not knots. 40 knots, that would be hella slow in from the depth. Is there anything else here to think about? Not really, I don't think. The armor is still paper, as is the usual of the Z5. Like around the guns you've got... There's some heavy armor around the guns, but it still isn't going to stop any shells. The turret caps are... yeah. I mean, they're not metal, that's just because I've deco-hidden the heavy armor, but that's still just 1 meter of heavy armor, that's nothing. The torpedo tubes also have a bit of armor around them, surprisingly enough, but not much. And yeah, that's pretty much it about the Z5, I guess. So we'll just have a killer marauder as well. Actually, yeah, I had the combat distance set wrong as well, so you go to 800. And then we bully a marauder. I should stop just taking vehicles from one tournament to another without changing the AIs again. That was still the AI settings for Promethean Directive, which were designed for the torpedo range mainly. Which, to be fair, the torpedoes... Oh, Z dodges? Z dodges. Torpedoes are still doing decent damage, as they've proven time and time again. That's probably the AI gun from the Marauder, if I remember its location correctly. Yep, there it goes. That's the AI. So yeah, Z5 torpedoes, everybody. Until they get shot off, they're pretty fearsome, but once they die, they don't do much anymore. So let's see who joined us. Ah, Alcates. Well, you kind of come a bit late because this was the last vehicle, the Z5. And yeah, I mean it should be fine. If there's anything you guys don't like about it, say it, I guess. I don't want to say my own ship is legal. It would be a shame if it wasn't for my own tournament. But yeah. That is... I don't like the way it looks. Yeah, of course. That is all vehicles inspected, I think. Unless Did we look at the trimmer? Yeah, we did. It's that ship with the 4 guns and the wooden underside. So yeah, we did have a look at it. The Reluctance, the Mask of Doom, the Knight of Selena is where we started today. The Archfey. Yeah, we've had some looks. We've had everything checked. So that concludes the inspections. Next week we'll have some battles, which I'm already looking forward to. I'll set up the brackets some point during the week and publish them. And yep, until next week, goodbye.